So in this last video, I'm gonna talk about two types of lists that we use on HTML documents, and I'll also talk about how to add images to your HTML document. So the first one, the one here on the top, and I'm gonna make a comment so we can put the name to it, is called an unordered list. Also is called just bullet points, right? Just bullets. So basically that's what this kind of UL does. The second one is called an ordered list. So I'm just gonna take this comment here and call it an ordered list. So in this one, these are numbers. Okay, so basically you have these two types of list. Now, one thing that these two lists share in common is the list items. So each one of these ones are list items. And what do we do with these ones? Basically, for either an unordered list or an ordered list, we use list items to list the information, or technically the items that we want within this list. So again, that's how like you code these two. And how do we do with images? Just taking the last part of this video. Images, I think we did it before, but I'm just gonna review it again. You start with the img tag, and then you call the source. Now, keep in mind, and basically keep in mind that, for example, for links, we use href as a attribute. In images, we use source to basically enter the path, and the value is going to be the path no matter what. Okay, in this case, as we were discussing in the previous video, my image is, because the document 13 lists, that's the one that I'm working on right now, it's at the root of the folder, and there is a folder within this chapter 3 that is called images, which this is the one that we are looking at, right? MirageLogo.gif, right? So that's why I put images first, because I have to add the folder where this document is, and then the name of the file. So just keep that in mind. This could change again if the page or the HTML document is within a folder. You will need to go to the root directory first, and then call the folder, and then call the file. So just keep that in mind. The second part is going to be the alternative text, and this is mandatory. So you have to add an alternative text, and it could be anything. You can put logo, picture, whatever, and you can be more descriptive if you want, but it's not really necessary. Also, you can add, remember, two kind of attributes. You can do height, like you can do width, and you can do like 100, and the value of width or height doesn't really matter. It's always expressed with numbers, and it's going to be always pixels, so you don't have to add the px after. So if I said 100, it's going to be 100 pixels. So if I do that and I save it, you can see that my image already showed up. I can also change this width and just add the height if I want to. Height 100. Save. Didn't change that much because this is a square image, but if I change the value again to 60, it's gonna get smaller. Now, one thing, you can actually add the px and it's gonna be fine. The page, the image is gonna work anyway, but when you validate, the validator tool is gonna call this an error. So that's why avoid to put the px, just keep plain numbers. And with that being said, this is the last video. If you have any questions, please let me know.